Hi, welcome to PDQ Live. I'm Tara, and we have Brock here with us today.
How's it going?
Brock,
Good to be here.
thanks for coming.
Yeah, I mean, Josh left us high and dry.
I guess he
As he
felt
does.
tired after
PDQ
PDQ
week.
week. Whatever,
Yeah.
Josh.
You know, I gotta say, that intro,
hmm
whenever I watch it, I look almost too happy when I'm in that elevator scene. I just gotta say, like, my goal here with that shot was to look happy, like my Audi was happy. Then he gets into the elevator and all of a sudden it's like straight face, like, great, I'm back at work, Because if I never had to like go into work, I just feel like I'd be so happy, And then all of a sudden you go to your innie who's just always at work. That's what I was portraying there, but that's what I was going for. I don't know.
Brock is a method actor.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a method actor. Okay, I gotcha.
But
I think it's perfect.
yeah, no, I think that, oh man, I'm going to be sad when I'm always sad when we change the intro, right?
I don't
'cause
have
I
anything
think
else lined up. I'm just saying that
I bet.
it might be time to go
I think
back.
we've had so many good ones though, but yeah, no, I get it.
Okay, anywho.
3 seconds in and I derailed us. And where's Josh again?
We have a big show, so we got to get going. You ready?
Yeah.
It is, well, it's all you, actually.
No.
So I hope you're ready. Because
definitely not all.
It's Package Tuesday.
No.
Patch Tuesday, Package Wednesday.
Yep.
What should we do first? Patch Tuesday?
Let's do Patch Tuesday.
Patch Tuesday.
To be clear, I love my job. I get to work with some amazing people with an amazing product, and I love the community. Anyways, Patch Tuesday. So this is a pretty good Patch Tuesday. Some very solid patches in here. Total exploits patch, we had like 80 CVEs, 11 of them being critical, 7 already known or out in the wild being exploited already. So I hope that wasn't one of you guys. But the first thing, of course, like I pull in like a CVE of all these, or a CSV of all these CVEs. And the first thing, of course, that pops out is we actually had a 10 this month, which doesn't happen that often. I honestly can't remember the last time there was a 10.
Mm-hmm.
It obviously happened, but I didn't go back and check historically. But normally that's not usually what you wake up to on Patch Tuesday. So anyways, we had a 10. It was involving like Azure DevOps. The exploit would lead to an elevation of privilege. The cool thing, this is like one of my favorite vulnerabilities, or CVEs, I should say, is that we didn't have to do anything on our end. This is all Microsoft. This didn't even happen on Patch Tuesday. I think it happened like late last week. They announced the CVE. They patched it on their end. And basically, this is just kind of like disclosure of information, which I think is really cool because I don't know if there's a requirement for them to disclose stuff like this. And like AWS, Google services, I don't know if they like stuff impacting cloud services, if they just always let people know, hey, we had this vulnerability. We're just letting you know, you don't have to do anything on your end. I don't know if that's always the case, that transparency. So I respect Microsoft for coming out and saying, hey, we had this, we figured this out, so we patched it. We're just letting you know, you don't got to do anything on your end. So that was pretty cool.
It's kind of been a dumpster fire with Microsoft lately, so maybe they just felt they had to.
Well, maybe there's a reason for that we'll get into.
Okay.
Next one, we had one impacting document intelligence. This is AI. This is combing through your data and like structuring it and using AI to make that data more useful, obviously. And this one would use a path traversal exploit to gain elevation of privilege over the network. And Microsoft says this one was only theoretical. So thankfully, this one wasn't actually being exploited at the time. But they say to make sure you're not vulnerable, that you have to update the image to the latest tag, which shouldn't affect user data. So hopefully that is reassuring to you guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, we had CVE 2025-47733. And I don't know, I've never used Microsoft Power Apps. But it's a way with like AI to like quickly develop your own apps. I mean, it sounds cool. Those are big promises. I bet it sounds like Microsoft's already using it to develop their own stuff. But there was a 9.1 rated server-side request forgery, or SERF, if you will, exploit in there. So that one's already been patched on Microsoft's end as well.
Mm-hmm.
So again, not something you have to worry about, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, it does kind of make you wonder. It's like, I remember it was 2 weeks ago we talked about AI's or Microsoft's use of AI,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, hey, they're generating like 30% of their code now through AI.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's reassuring.
Not really, no. So, fun fact, I just wanted to remember to tell you this. One of our friends, I won't say the name, husband works at Microsoft, and I may or may not have been complaining about Microsoft documentation. Okay, I was. And he piped up and said, the reason our documentation is such a hot mess is because different people own different sections of the document. And I was like, what now? So literally a paragraph is owned by one person. The next paragraph is owned by a different person. And I was like, you are kidding. He said, no.
That's like the
why it
definition of that's not my job.
Exactly.
You know?
Because I started the conversation by saying, do you hire the biggest sadist on earth to write your documentation? Is that what you do? And he goes, no, here's the problem.
Yeah.
So that's why everyone hates Microsoft's documentation right there.
Yeah. And I was doing some research on some of these patches and stuff. Reddit's a good way to look and see if people have been having issue with any patches running. There was some complaints about some blue screens out there. So hopefully you guys aren't running into that. But, just keep an eye out. Make sure you're doing your testing. Make sure you have rollback plans in place. And happy patching.
Sounds like a good one. All right, Kelly, what do we have for Package Wednesday?
Yeah, if you know it's Patch Tuesday, Package Wednesday follows right behind. This is when we release new packages in the package library. And I'll be honest, I don't know what most of these are this week. Usually I have some sort of an idea. Not at all this time. But new in the package library is CyberDuck, ImageGlass, Docker Desktop, and Windows Subsystem for Linux, also known as WSL. So there you go. That's what's new and exciting in the PDQ package library.
I like it.
CyberDuck, what a great name.
I know. I like how you also said W with your W accent.
WSL.
Wouldn't want to do it. Wouldn't want to do it. Okay, now it is time for a domain of our own. Okay, it's been 2 weeks. Honestly, I really can't remember where we left off.
And I'm excited for this because...
Are you?
Well, yeah, because so I was here. We usually do a dry run, to make sure that we're extra professional on the day of the shoot.
Yeah, always.
And so we go over stuff that we're covering, make sure that, we have our I's crossed and T's dotted. But I had to dip early in our dry run yesterday because I had other meetings, conflicting meetings. So
How dare
I didn't get to see how all this went down. So I'm excited. This is kind of new for me and for you.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, where we decided to go this week is we are going to, wow, that's making a lot of noise. Kelly won't like that. Let's take that off. We decided to stay on-prem. So, well, first let's talk about best practice. So, because I'm me, I did a lot of research, made a ridiculously long document, but I'll just summarize it for y'all. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to make a default domain group policy, and then I'm going to show you a better way. So our brand new domain controller, on-prem domain controller, right? For the default domain controller group policy, there's some suggestions that you just really keep it simple. So we're not going to do very much with it. So I went and researched the current guidelines for password policies. And it wasn't that long ago that I remember they would kind of say, you need a special character, you need a capital, you need it to be 8 characters. It needs to expire every 6 months, right? You remember those times?
Yep.
Well, those times are gone, my friend. No, not anymore. So right now, what they encourage are passphrases. So Brock has a smolder would be a passphrase. Okay.
Basically long passwords.
Basically long passwords. So sentences that you can remember, and you can set it to never expire.
That's
which,
wild.
I know, it actually kind of hurts my head because I remember if you had that checkbox, you would fail your audit. No, not anymore.
And for a long time, it was always coming down, right? It was like, hey, make sure your password expires every year.
Nope.
And then every 6 months, every 3 months, every month you should have a new password and make sure you remember the last 5 or something like that,
Yep.
And times are changing.
Times are changing. So now you can go ahead and uncheck that box. And so NIST suggests 12 to 16 character passwords. The longer, the better. You don't need to expire them. So let's dig into it, and I'll show you kind of how to set that up. So I went ahead with, actually, we talked about this. It's server 2025. We're going to minimize this because we're going to go to group policy. So if you've never done group policy before, I'm going to go ahead and say, don't do it because it's a nightmare. No, I brushed up on group policy, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I wish I were. There's 10,000 things in group policy, for real.
There are.
Group policy was developed 25 years ago, and I don't think they've made it any clearer. I'm not joking when I say that. But okay, so group policy right here, this default domain policy, it's going to come here by default. And this, when you make a password policy, it will only apply if you put it here. You can make a password policy at any of these OUs, and fun fact, it will ignore it if you put it anywhere else. So in case anyone doesn't know that, you have to put it right here in your default domain policy. So I went ahead and made one, and this is one of the things. I'm only being kind of sarcastic with group policies. I actually love them. I have a love-hate relationship with group policies. They're amazing. They're also kind of hard to read, right? Like, look at this. You're like, okay, let me scroll down 17 hours and find out what I did with this, and where am I going again? So you're just going to read and see, what did I set up here? So under computer configurations, policies, Windows settings, security settings. Oh, where's the breadcrumbs? Where am I going? Let's just dig in because this sucks. So I did password policy. Let's go find it. So policies, Windows settings, security settings. Let's right click. We're going to edit it. And let's see if I can remember what I just told you. I can't, but I'll try. Windows settings, and we'll talk about what we just did. And I already went to the wrong one. Did I? Were you paying attention, Brock?
Yes.
I was. Okay. So password policy, let's take a look at what we did. So, and this really drove me crazy, as many things do. You have to go here first to relax the minimum limits. And if you don't do this, it won't let you set it to 16.
Okay.
So just fair warning, do that first. And then you can come back here and you can set it to be as long as you want. If you don't, this stops you. And I was like,
I was just signing up for, I don't remember what web service it was, but the minimum requirement was 12. So that was interesting to see.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that kind of like taking over as the standard yet.
Yeah. And if you don't change what I just showed you, is stopped at 12.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. So anyway, it's just one of those gotchas that annoys you. And then you can come set whatever you want. Set it to I set this to the NIST standards, just FYI, okay? And then I made this very strict. And again, it's really going to depend on your environment, okay?
8
so
passwords remembered. Oof.
I know, I told you I was being really strict. So
You're saying you're not supposed to change your password anymore? I guess that's okay.
Well, no, you can set it so that it will remember 24 passwords.
That's the limit you can go up to?
No, you can go to 42.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what? I have something here that kind of explains. Let me show you this.
Okay, show me.
This shows how long it would take a computer to crack your password based on the number of characters, upper, lowercase, symbols, and things like that. And so that's why they made the move away from, it used to be, hey, you have to have at least 8 characters, and then they'd make you change it every 30 days, every 90 days, whatever.
Yeah.
This is why they realized that the longer it is, actually, the more secure it is, and much less of a need to frequently change that password.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Anyway, there you go.
And I see all these comments in here, and I love these comments, but remember, we're just doing the bare minimum today. And this is just following the NIST recommendations today. So we'll build on to this, but I'm going to move on just quickly. So now, and this is just what I'm putting in the default group policy, remember? we're going to build onto this, and I'm actually going to show you a better way after this.
Okay.
Then I moved on to lockout. I'm going to lock out after 15 minutes because that's a recommendation. I'm only going to allow 3 invalid logins. This one freaks me out a lot, but
Stops that brute force attempts.
exactly. You can allow the administrator account to lock out. I'm not going to because that terrifies me, but you could if you wanted to. Next thing, the Kerberos. This was a recommendation. You can do this if you want to. I didn't. The only other thing I put in here, and I'm going to kind of hurry because we got a lot to do. The only other thing I put in the default one was the auditing. Okay. It's down here. But again, just going to quickly breeze through it.
Success.
You have to turn on the logging, the auditing. Okay. But that's it. That's the only other thing that I did in the default one.
In the default domain policy.
Exactly.
And I was talking to Josh before he abandoned us. And he was saying that is the only thing he thinks that you should set in the default domain policy. He's like, I've seen other people go through and just set a whole bunch of stuff in the default domain policy.
You don't want
He's like, the only thing I ever want to see in there is just the password and security stuff.
Yeah, and don't put anything else. Well, and this is, I'm just going with best practices. I know a lot of people do a lot of things. This is what NIST suggests, so that's what I put in here. But I want to show you what I feel is such an easier way to do the passwords, and it's called the fine grain password policy that I was like, oh my gosh, how much easier is this? So if you go into the server management console, you're just going to go over here to launch the Active Directory Administrative Center. So go to Tools, Active Directory Administrative Center. Sorry, that was really hard for me to say. Then you're going to go to System, and then you're going to go to Password Settings Container. And I made some, but I just want to talk through this with you really quickly. This one right here, I made a big one for everybody. And I like this so much better because, and it is not new, okay? Let me make that clear. It's not new, but I want to explain why I like it better. Everything that we just did where we had to follow the trail, and that annoys the crap out of me. I see it in one pane of glass. And the reason I like this one is you can make differing policies more restrictive for different user groups. So see how this says fine grain password policy, and then I can set a precedence. This precedent goes from 1 to 90. Or might be, it is 1 to 90. So I set this precedence for 50, and then I applied this to all domain users, okay? So all the same things we just did, right? And I forgot to mention this. Store password using reversible encryption. You never ever want to set that. That will store your password in plain text. So FYI, that's in group policy too. So this would be for every single user, right? It's all the same stuff we just did. But let's go back really quickly because this would be my baseline policy. The next one I would do, say I'm a bank. I can set one that's more restrictive for my finance group. And then what I'm going to do is with my precedence, the lower number is going to be more restrictive and it will take precedence over the one for domain users. And so what I did is I made this one more restrictive. And then I made a security group and scoped it to finance. So then think about it this way. The next one that I would do, and I would give it a precedence of say 30, I would do it for my C-suite, and I would lock them out after one try, say, in 10 seconds. So I love this sort of model, not only because it's one pane of glass and it's actually easier to me. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but if I'm in a really secure environment, I would do it this way.
Yeah, I mean, it seems very much like, hey, 2005 versus like 2020 era of like doing things. Right?
And next week we're going to go into configuration policies in Intune. This is very similar to that. So anyway, I wanted to show you both of them, but that's all we're going to do today. Actually, no, that's not true. I want to show you one more thing. I'm sorry. I'm going to hurry, Kelly. I'm going to hurry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I stumbled on something else that I was like, oh my gosh, I love it so much. I got to find myself though. I made some OUs. So if you've never done this before, my gosh, I love this so much. You can set login and log off hours for individual accounts to individual machines. And I was like, oh, I love this so much. So yesterday these guys were like, why would you want to do that? And I thought, well, let me tell you why. So say you have a newer help desk person who has showed you that they're kind of maybe a little erratic. They can be impulsive. I can set, if I'm off work during these hours, I can block this off. So I don't want them on Sunday night to log in during this block. I can block that time off. Oh, sorry, I need to hit denied. I can say, no, you're not going to be able to do it on these days. You can actually select every single day and then block it off. And you can actually say, you're not going to be able to log into C-suite computers from 10 p.m. till 8 a.m. And then it actually allows you to specify machine names too that are joined to the domain. I'm like, oh, I love this so much. So if you've never played with this.
Oh, I've definitely used this. And
love it.
That's an interesting use case for it, because normally it's like, hey, these people work during these hours, and so I'm trying to restrict people that maybe are like trying to use these people's credentials from like blasting the network at night, as like a hacker might do or something. But no, that's a great use case where it's like, hey, I do not want so and so, the new guy, like breaking things while I've got my day off. So
exactly,
he's locked out.
Exactly. No, I mean, I just some all the stuff. I'm like, I gotta see if anyone's using this. So I dig it.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, ready? Sorry, you got to speed along. I get excited about things that I have to see if you guys use.
Get excited about things?
I know, it's crazy, right? Okay, back to the hackathon. You ready to see the hackathon stuff?
Oh, I am, yeah.
Okay. Drew, you doing pictures?
I do have pictures. I do have pictures of PDQ week and hackathons and how much fun was had.
Yes. So I think the pictures really are telling because...
Do you want pictures from the whole week?
Oh, I thought we were doing hackathon.
Yeah, we are doing hackathon,
oh, okay.
But we didn't hit these, so these are fun.
These are pictures of just PDQ week. There's Andrew. There's Dan, and Josh, I think, immediately posted that
AKA Prison Mike.
Yeah, he was Prison Mike from The Office. So that's the hackathon. The theme was Hack to the Future, and they really went all out.
I love that Dan's
with the
bandana has the sun and Michael's has literally the flower in the exact same shape right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had our customer panel too, which was pretty awesome.
Customer panel is always great. I love hearing from customers. I mean, me and Andrew and Tara, we're like all in on community around here. So we love being able to like get that like feedback right there in person, meet these people, hear their struggles, their successes, and things like that, and really celebrate that and grow from it and learn from it, because PDQ as a company, like we rely on like the customers. We want you guys to like drive the products, what you guys want, and things like that.
I was really interested to hear what the customers, how they were using their products.
Yeah.
I was interested in that. I liked hearing about all that.
Mm-hmm. Because you never know. It's like every organization you go to is utilizing things different ways to meet their needs, right? Nobody has the exact same needs. Everybody has specifics that they're trying to meet, and so you got to configure them for those certain like use cases.
I just lost those guys in my mic. I don't think they were saying anything important though. Just are they? I mean, they're not probably. Okay, this is Lex came. There's Lex. Look at him. He's so cute.
Tara nodding off there.
That's me sleeping at Casino Night because I was tired. I was nodding off. So that's Raj and Chris.
And Skylar, who put on like so much work for PDQ.
Yes.
Like he's the one that kind of like makes the magic happen.
Yep. There's Sean in his pink suit for Barbie.
The king of the world shot. I love that shot.
Yep. The tech guys. There's the gambling. Yep.
Yep. PDQ night or casino night.
Oh yeah. And so the Einstein guy, I thought he worked here. I didn't know he was a paid actor. I was talking to him like an idiot.
As soon as he came up to me, I was like, do you work here? I was like, I don't know how to engage with you.
I know.
I need to know whether you work here or if you're like a hired actor.
He was full.
And it was the actual Einstein.
Yeah, he had an accent.
Zombie Einstein.
The whole thing.
He didn't drop the accent.
Okay, here's the hackathon. So here is the leaders in engineering. Look at those outfits. Isn't that awesome?
Yep, there's the hack to the future. Did you just give me Josh's shirt? Did you steal it from him?
No.
Is that where this came from?
This is so perfect to me because Josh and I are both just like laughing. And I think Raj is seriously contemplating his job decisions. He's like, what have I gotten myself into? Look at his face.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new CTO.
Yeah, he's like, that's the look of like, okay, I don't know if I made the right choice here.
Yeah, I know. I like that a lot. So, all right. So we decided to show you some of our favorites. And full disclosure, some of these, we have no idea if these are going to come into the product. We have no control over that. We just wanted to show you for fun, okay?
But I think we wanted to kind of chat about like how cool it is to have a hackathon.
Yeah.
Like if your company has ever thought about ways to get a little more creativity and freedom from engineers and from developers, or even the creative marketing types, this was an awesome way that we've done for years. That is like, try your hand, try something new, and come up with something. And sometimes the things that end up in hackathons eventually make it to product. Not always.
Yeah, we've had some things that have come from the hackathons that have made their way into our products. And so it's really kind of I got to give PDQ a lot of credit for allowing the freedom, letting our folks take a week and just have that creative liberty to make something. If there's a problem that you think you can come up a solution for, go for it. And as we talked about that, Drew and I were thinking, you know what? You could apply something like this really to any business department, but I don't think that companies generally allow that type of freedom. They need to be able to see the vision. It's like, okay, if I give these people enough creative space, they can come up with a solution to whatever problems we have. You just have to, have enough trust and allow people to do that. And I think this hackathon is a great example of some of the things that can come out of that.
So let's show off our favorites. Go ahead, Andrew.
Even if you're not a developer, the ability to implement a project that's open source that you're passionate about and have seen and doesn't really fit into your day job, just capitalize on the efforts of your employees and the passion that they have built in.
All right, what are some of our favorites that came out this year? Where do you guys want to start?
I want to see Connect White Mode just because the video is so amazing.
All right, we'll listen to this one for a bit. I think it looks good for light mode, and I'm not a big fan.
I love light mode. I really do. I am not a dark mode fan, so when I saw this, I'm like, oh, please put it in for me.
Y'all have been flashbanged.
Well, the beginning of the video is really funny, too, because they were describing the sysadmin, like, in his dark office, drinking Monster, not interacting with humans. That part was funny, too.
I love Fortress, just no.
I know, like, no. I hate it.
No, it's like there are actual sysadmins out there that enjoy light mode, and there's nothing wrong with that.
How about the Connect mobile app? Okay. I want that. I like to walk around.
Just to give people a heads up, these are not promises.
Yeah, I think
these are just ideas. So let me clarify. We're not showing you something and saying this will be in the product at some point. These are just ideas. Okay.
Can you tell Kelly's nervous? That
I'm not nervous. I'm just setting expectations. I don't want to get called to Dan's office later.
Yeah. Like, hey, when is the mobile app coming? No,
yeah,
so
exactly.
But this one amazed me because
amazing.
There's a lot of information in Connect, right?
Yeah.
And we really utilize all that UI space. But to be able to shrink that down and make it usable on a mobile device was incredible.
How many times have you gone to lunch and a Dan has been like, I really need this application right now?
Right.
All the time.
Like, no, for real. Like I remember going around, I worked at a higher education before here. And I remember going around with carrying around a laptop. I mean, I carried around switches with me and all sorts of stuff. Anyways. And I just remember man, I wish I could be just doing this on my phone.
Me too.
Instead of carrying my laptop, one hand, trying to type and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I wish I could be using my phone for this.
Yep.
So cool.
All right, let's see it, Kelly. Or did you already show it?
They kind of already showed it while we were talking about it, right?
Yeah, we showed it.
Oh, you showed it? Oh, we were too busy talking.
Well, there's no audio. We just looked at the interface.
Yeah.
As it was going.
Okay.
I think the coolest one was Shell Demo for me.
Oh, yeah. Shell Demo was pretty cool. Well, there's Andrew waiting. Okay, Andrew,
right,
should we see it?
Here's Shell Demo.
Andrew, walk us through this one.
Well, this is a video.
I wish I had that little guy in the corner doing that. I mean, I really wish it came with that.
It needs to be
amazing.
a VS Code pet.
More pets.
So basically, explain to us what we're seeing.
Oh, yeah. So they're running some PowerShell code. There's IntelliSense, there's colors, there's cool stuff. I think there's going to be I don't know if the video stopped, but yeah, it's just a essentially really enhanced terminal.
Mm-hmm. And super fast.
Mm-hmm. It was really
right,
fast.
instantaneous results from these remote devices that you're running the terminal on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Colors, all the kind of fancy stuff you expect. Look at that.
Yeah. It was almost like you were just like right there at the machine, you know, the way you were interacting with it. And I know that like Josh was like, hey, this is amazing. This is like blowing my mind, but I have some security concerns, right? So definitely like a lot of potential with this one though.
Yeah, they were all pretty amazing though, actually.
Yeah. No, I mean, everything we got, the Vista widgets was amazing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, some of them are like very like work oriented, like, hey, can we connect into like a mobile app and stuff like that? And can we like enhance the shell and stuff? So, but then some of them are obviously just like for fun and whatnot.
Well, and
So
that's
cool.
the thing. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I think there were like 13 videos that we showed.
Yeah.
And that's just 3, I think.
Yeah. And they were like back to back.
Yeah.
A lot of creativity. Really good stuff. Gotta hand it to the devs and engineering. They did a great job there.
Yeah. They're amazing. Okay. That is all we have for this week. Brock, thanks for stopping by. It's always
Absolutely.
fun.
You know, I try to fill in where I can.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. For PDQ, I'm Tara.
And I'm Brock.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. As always, like and subscribe. Leave us your comments. And go back and look at the chat because I'm bribing you for a G2 Connect review. Maybe I'll put it in there in a second as well. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here next time.